Hello and welcome to Redefining the Significance of You, time for you, by you, because of you. My name is Denise Drinkwalter, and I am a midlife renewal coach supporting women worldwide to lean into and realize the importance of you. This channel is to provide you, the viewer, with some takeaways that will help you shift, change, reevaluate, and or even become more aware of what is truly possible. We have a variety of incredible guests, and today is no exception. Every one of us has had that infamous free time sometime in our lives, and we frequently feel guilty or plain wrong for taking out time for ourselves. We are here to change that and to support you to see what is possible for you when you take time for you, by you, because of you. It is an honor and an absolute privilege to welcome to our show today Dr. Doreen Downing, a beacon of empowerment in the realm of psychology and fearless communication coaching. With a career spanning over 3 decades, Dr. Downing has honed her expertise as a psychologist and fearless speaking coach, dedicated to guiding individuals on a transformative journey within themselves. Dr. Downing's approach is rooted in deep listening, offering a safe space for individuals to confront their fears head on, embrace their vulnerabilities, and unearth the essence of their true selves. Drawing from personal experience, she understands the profound struggles of those grappling with public speaking anxiety, having embarked on her own journey of self-discovery. As a licensed clinical psychologist since 1990, Dr. Downing has left an indelible mark on the lives of thousands, empowering them to unlock their full potential. Whether it's finding the courage to speak up in a setting, advancing in careers, fostering meaningful relationships, or simply finding that fulfillment in life, her guidance has been instrumental in facilitating growth and self-expression. Dr. Downing's expertise extends to addressing a myriad of challenges, from public speaking fears, social anxiety to issues of assertiveness and self-esteem. She recognizes the complex layer of emotions that often accompany these struggles, offering compassionate support to those navigating their way through things like shame, guilt, and the fear of being seen. In essence, Dr. Doreen Downing is not just a practitioner, but a catalyst for profound personal growth and empowerment. With her guidance, individuals discover the courage to step into that spotlight, speak their truth, and embrace the fullness of who they are. It is so great to have you here today.
Denise, what a wonderful introduction. That was marvelous. I was impressed. You must have found that or made that or wrote it. It was marvelous. And it covered, actually, really spelled out that the word I use, which is find your voice, isn't just about a platform with a large audience. So I'm so glad we started there right away, that life is your stage. Everywhere you go, there you are. Yes.
I love what you're saying, because when I looked into the work you did and we had a conversation, I was like, yes, let's help people find their voice. And like you say, a lot of us think, well, I don't want to speak on stage. I don't want to do a presentation in front of an audience. But the work that you do is way deeper and wider than stage work, correct?
Yeah. Yes, I love that phrase of inner transformation. I'm not sure I've ever said it that way, really, because people who have public speaking anxiety think that they need to learn how to give a better speech. and that they need something like learn how to do vocal variety or eye contact or any of those kind of what looks like a professional speaker. No, you don't need that. You just need to, well, the journey to find your voice and come to that inner strength, the inner real you is a different kind of process than putting on performance techniques.
Two very different things, aren't they? The
Yeah.
outside and the inside.
Yes. I just recently did a master class and it was find your voice and speak up now. And then I called it the 3 secrets to embrace your true self. So
Hmm.
that the find your voice is an inner journey and speak up now, wherever that might be, is the outer. So I do both. You can't really, I mean, yes, you can do the outer. A lot of people are performers and entertainers, and they're really good at doing that stage stuff. But the people I work with are holding themselves back. Like,
Hmm.
you said, they're so afraid to step into their own life and say, hello, this is what I feel, or this is what I believe.
How in the world does somebody even begin to process? I think I feel that I'm not being my full self,
Yeah,
but who am I? How do I know that it's not me? Do you
yeah.
find that people come to you and they're like, well, I think I want to find my voice, but I don't know?
No, I think that the people who come to me are really seeing that there's something more that they're
Mm,
either avoiding or putting off, scared to face, like scared to face your own fear, because
mhm.
biologically, we don't want to create that intense fright in our own body. I mean, it's like putting your hand on a stove. You don't want to do that again, right? So, especially if you've had some traumatic moment in your past where you feel like you failed or panic came over you, you don't want to go, you don't want to look at that. You just want to leave it behind, move on in life. And that was a great question. And I just today was editing my last podcast, and it was an exact same thing about somebody who said she had everything in her life, the right house, the right career, the right child, the right upbringing, everything was right. And she would be sitting in the boardroom going, is this really my life? And it just, she said, I ignored that voice. And I said, oh, it's like a voice inside then, right? Find your voice. Well, at first you have to listen to it. You have to be open to listening if there's a voice inside niggling at you, kind of saying. And she said she ignored it until she had a severe breakdown of the marriage, the health, and the being fired from the job or something like that.
Something, yeah.
So it was like major crash because she didn't hear the early signs. So I guess that's what we could ask right now and talk about, or what are those early signs, huh?
Exactly. Perfect. That's exactly what I'm thinking. What are the signs? Because let's not, where we can in our conversation today, provide opportunities for our listeners to go, oh, now
Yeah.
I know what to look
Mm.
for instead of going to the bottom to
Uh-huh.
rise back up again. Wouldn't it be powerful? So what
Yeah.
are some things that we can look for
Mhm.
in our lives that might help us go, oh, wait a minute, I need to talk to Dr. Doreen Downing.
Yes. The first thing that comes to mind, and because we're so in the moment, it's not like it's prepared, and we're
Yeah.
creating it as we're speaking about it. So you and I together can probably help listeners by. So the first one to me is people. People might want to do some journal work.
Mm,
Ask the question, how how do I feel today? Am I happy now? Is there more for me? I know that, I'm kind of getting chills right now just
that's
suggesting that people begin to increase their own self-awareness, or so that would be one way, is the asking those questions that take you inside. The second one that's coming up right now is,
yeah.
and it goes with what you said a few minutes ago, maybe people don't really know yet. So then they'd book a session with me, and I have this process, this guided visualization, and maybe I'll just say it today,
Yes.
people. First, take a breath, and then imagine yourself walking into a park, and on the left side is a little girl on a bench, and or a boy or whatever, is the person, the little one of you is on a bench. What is this little one wearing, and what does this little one look like? How old is this little one? Go sit down by this little one and ask, do you have something to tell me today? And just listen. So that would be the first step. And then you have a conversation. So that's the whole idea of we need to listen to ourselves. And then you say, thank you, I'll see you again. You walk further into the park, and then you notice a figure, an older figure, probably, maybe 20s, 30s. I don't know. You would know because you recognize that this figure is standing against a tree, kind of erect. And it's more of the critical part of you, the judgmental part of you that has some things to say. And then you go deep. Thank you. See you later. Thank you for sharing. But maybe there's some good information in there. And then going deeper into the park and going, I'm feeling drawn to something. There's a, maybe a fragrance that's pulling me further into the forest, if it's a forest that you find yourself in. And then pretty soon you're with, well, there's different ways to talk about this, but a spirit or a spirit guide or your essence or your true self, or depends on where people are with that,
Sure,
their
of
higher
course.
power. And then you stop and you say, do you have something to tell me today? Or do you have something to offer me? And then, you take the gift, and that's from your deepest self, right? To me, that's
Yes.
where, that's the voice that is the one that we want to be listening to, because that's where your true strength is. And it's hard to help people realize that inside, very deep inside, underneath all the stuff that they've got and the triggers, is their strength. I just heard this yesterday, is where fear is where your fulfillment lies. Isn't that cool, that idea?
Yeah.
Anyway, so you say
Yeah.
goodbye to your spiritual essence, or your the one who's really always there with you, never is gone. You just have to go find access. And
Yeah.
so that's a brief little exercise that hopefully people today can take more time and do that.
I really like how you set that up. Two reasons.
Uh-huh.
One, I like because you're asking through a lens of curiosity,
Oh,
right?
yes.
Instead of it's written in stone, this is who I am, this is always who I'm going to be. You're asking
Um,
different life experiences.
yeah.
What do
Yeah.
you have to share with? And I also love thank you.
Oh.
I love that because
Mhm.
what you're doing is opening yourself up to exploring more about what might have come through as you went through that journey in the three different
Yeah.
aspects that you encountered.
Yes.
So I love that.
Good.
Love that. Thank you for sharing that. I was
Yeah,
actually going to go into it because I had my eyes closed at the
I
beginning. I don't know
saw.
whether you saw that, and I'm like,
I did. Yeah, I saw, okay, let's just see where she goes, and maybe she'll talk to the listeners what she discovered. But it did seem like at least you met your little one, did you?
I did. I did. I absolutely did. It was me in my
Uh-huh.
pink. Yep.
Uh,
Yep. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Any
And
words that came from her that you heard?
just I didn't really hear anything. It was more her energy, to be quite frank.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. That's
Yeah.
true, and especially if you sit longer, the words might come, but just meeting is like, I think it changes our sense of self, is that we've got this precious little one inside.
Yes.
And sometimes that precious little one is really hurting or
Yeah.
really being ignored, and we need to say, I'm here for
Mhm.
you.
that open, that I think
Yeah.
that openness allows for new things to occur as you I love what you just shared there. Thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Yes, yeah,
That
well,
was
I've
great.
never done that. I've never done that live or in a workshop. Well, I do it in workshops and in my private sessions. I just felt
Right.
like we needed
Yeah.
to help people, guide people today to do an inner journey and
Yeah.
make it nice and safe and know how to do it. And that's what transformation is just one step at a time. And I love curiosity, the word you used, right?
I think
Yes.
it takes all for me, it helps me move it forward to this might work, it might not. There's no judgment here. I'm
Yeah.
just getting curious around it,
Yeah.
just opening myself up. What can happen? Who knows? Let's try, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Let's try and get to
amazing.
know myself.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I like how you shared at the beginning how fear stop like we just compound it and compound it.
Yes.
Where is fear really rooted? Is it have a root?
Mhm. That's a good question. There's 2 ways to look at that. There's
Sure.
nature, right? That, we are primarily animals, and our
Yeah.
brains have developed this big forehead. But way back in the hindbrain is the amygdala that carries so much of the emotional responses that either still, well, not they do still live with
Yeah.
us, but and neuroscience is, there are a couple of neuroscientists that I refer to a lot. Uh, Pittman and Carl, and it's Rewire Your Anxious Brain. It looks like you know that book. Yeah. Well, they talk about this part of our brain cannot control that part. It's two different wiring systems. So, something that I just did with the guided meditation is that reaches behind the frontal
Right.
cortex, trying to control everything. It's like we aren't
Mhm.
trying to control everything. We're just going to go on a journey exploring. And so fear, yes, would be the what we all know is the animal in us. And it's like, oh, pray. Oh my gosh, somebody's going to eat me, or somebody's going to do something terrible, and I can't. It's that reactive stuff.
Yes.
And if anybody has had trauma in the past,
Mm.
whether it was in, the family situation, abandonment, neglect, abuse, or whether something happened at school, peers can be really, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
peers can be bullies. And, or maybe it happened when you entered the work world and you weren't quite
Mhm.
secure enough. And so to me, so that the nature is there, but then the nurture is what I was just starting to talk about. The environment that you grew up in, it might have done some intense kind of shock to that last part of that hindbrain, and just lodged in there and said,
Mm.
I have so many examples of working with people who have had those past traumas and
Yeah.
said, I'm never going to do that again. I'm never going to put myself in front of people. And in fact,
Mhm.
yesterday I was starting with somebody and he was saying, I panic about my panic happening again.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. And
Huh.
it is not written in stone that that is how you have to live. The
Mm,
work that you do
mm,
helps people understand that we are a lot more than just this,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Just in our heads. Excuse me.
Yes, no
But I
problem.
think the gesture I'm doing right now with my hands underneath my neck and kind of
Yeah.
cutting off my head,
Yeah.
this work is really helping people to have insight, to
Mm.
take them. And how do you do that? Well, you need some kind of guidance,
Yes.
and there are a lot of things online you can check out, but it has to be safe. And as a
Yes.
psychologist, all the work that I've done to create safe space for people to do the inner work to find the wounds. And I have so many techniques I use to heal them.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate what you're sharing. The safety is
Mm-hmm.
key. It
Mm-hmm.
really, really is.
Yeah.
And so the work that you do, the energy that you bring, I can only imagine the results that you get when you meet whoever you're working with in whatever capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you're a gift. I am
Thank you.
so glad
Thank
that
you.
you have had the journey that you've had to be able to do the work that you're doing, which is very unique and very specific. And we are grateful to spend time with you here today.
Thank
Do you
you.
have anything that you want to make sure that our listeners really, really, any words of wisdom at the very end here that you want to share that really want to anchor anything home? Is there anything coming
Yeah.
up for you?
Yes, yes. And because it's a little like where we started, is that we think that speaking is about speaking. But I hope today you get a lot that learning to find your voice is about listening. And the 7 secrets I write about in my book, and then I train in my 3 month Find Your Voice training program, are all about being. They aren't in the 7 secrets, you'll never find do this. It's all about be still, be present, be aware, be positive, be connected, be yourself. So those, we take each one of those and go very deep into that. How do you, what is, so we're working on being, and
Yes.
that would be the message I'd like to give people today at the end here. Speaking is about being. Really, it's transformational idea is, if you want to be a better speaker, look at how you are as a human being, and are you truly connected to your true self?
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love that. We do have in the show notes, I believe it's your website that people can find all
Good.
the information. If there's anything that you want me to make sure I put in there that isn't there, make sure you let me know and I will put it in. The books that you've got,
Mhm.
anything at all, if it's not through the website. Um, what an honor to share time and space with you. We could go on and on. Maybe we will have to do another show together.
Yes. It's fun having a conversation with you because you are such a good listener too. So and it
Thank
gives me space to not just be a speaker. We're having a conversation,
We are.
right?
We really are.
That speaking is a conversation. That's another tip, folks.
There you go. There are just so many, but they're all doable when you learn how to tap into your inner truth,
Yes.
right? And you start to really understand the power and the beautiful human being that you really are deep down inside. It's there, and that's the work that you do. Is you help people find their voice through the communication, which also includes that listening. I always used to say we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason.
Mhm. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. For
Mhm.
my listeners, if you are not yet subscribed to this YouTube channel, you want to make sure you do that because you don't want to miss any of these incredible guests that I get to share space with and the talents and gifts that they have. Make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss anyone. And I want to share with you a brand new um, book that is available. It's called For You, By You, Because of You, and it's a guided journal for empowered women. And it is a really, have had really good responses from people who are beginning to use it. It's hot off the press. I did my launch on Saturday. It's on Amazon, and I really hope you have a chance to check it out. There's all the things that Dr. Downing was talking about in terms of how you're feeling today, what's going on, and then looking at what you do every day that is benefiting you and where are you missing out on giving back to yourself every day. So it's going to help
Mm.
move that agenda a little bit for you. So I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead. Thank you so much again, Dr. Downing, for being here with us today. And I will say goodbye. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye.